Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day where I'm finally going to find out how much I spent on my entire manga collection. Now I'm going to keep this intro pretty brief, but if you're unaware, this is actually part 2 of 2. If you haven't seen the first part yet, I'll put a card to it in the corner where I tally up these two shelves, but today we're finishing the collection and finding out the total at the end of it all. If you enjoy this video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. But without any further ado, let's head on over to the shelves and start counting up how much I've spent. Alright, so here we are on the other side of the room. As you can see, the rest of my manga collection is ripe and ready to be counted up and tallied to see how much I've spent on my entire manga collection. So I think we're going to start off here with some of the box sets I have laying around. So we'll start off with the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z box sets. Actually, he bought these from Based Senpai, a former manga YouTuber. When they were out of stock, I think I paid $300 for both, which is, more than I probably should have paid, but you know what? It's water under the bridge. I'm just glad to have these in the collection. And then we have One Piece box sets 3, 4, and then 1 and 2. You can see behind the Gundam. Again, not 100% sure on these. I'm gonna say 120 each. If I can find it on my spreadsheet, I'll put the correct numbers. But starting off with the individual manga volumes, we have my Osamu Tezuka Self. Some of the stuff I remember how much I paid, some of which I'm gonna have to refer to my spreadsheet and just tally it up later. But Message to Adolf the First, I remember how much I paid for these. I paid $80, and this is, keep in mind, before these got reprinted, so these were out of print, very desirable. Found a great deal, I believe, on Reddit for these when I was in college. But obviously with them back in print, I could have paid less, but it is what it is. Glad to have these first prints in the collection. Moving along with my Tezuka hardcovers, we have Ayako. Got this for $15 at my used store, which is very good for a Tezuka hardcover. Then we have M.W. or Mu. I think this was about $20. I'll see if I can find the number, but it was about there, not too expensive. Then we have the Book of Human Insects hardcover. I believe I actually got this from Prof Otaku for $30, which is, pretty good price for this hardcover. But the best deal I got on all these is actually my Buddha hardcovers. Now, back when r/manga swap on Reddit was just the Wild West, people would sometimes just have amazing deals, and you'd have literally hundreds of people in the comments. You don't really see that much nowadays, but I got this full complete set for $35. I don't even really know how much a full set of this usually goes for now on eBay, but probably a little bit more than $35. Next we have Osamu Tezuka's The Mysterious Underground Men. Paid $65 for this on eBay last year, a good price considering how much that usually goes for. And then Ode to Hirohito Omnibus, I paid $15 for this, I believe off of A-Books. Something that isn't Tezuka, we have Yokohama Karaishi Kiko, the 2 deluxe editions from 7 Seas. I paid $10 a piece for these at my local hobby shop. Probably won't pick up any more of these, even though it is good. I just don't really see myself picking up these more expensive editions. Now here we have the bulk of my Tezuka collection, and this is where I'm going to do a little bit of a cop-out. I have basically all of this in a spreadsheet, just kind of a matter of tallying it up. I don't remember off the top of my head, how much I paid for Melody of Iron specifically. So we'll add the total to the overall ticker right now, and here's how much the Tezuka chunk it was by itself. Now, the only non-Tezuka thing on this shelf is my mail set, volumes 1 through 3, obscure, out of print, hard to find Dark Horse horror manga. Paid $60 for these off of Reddit. Again, Josh Decent, who is a mod on that sub, was selling some of his friend's stuff, so I was glad to find that for a great price. Moving on down, we have my Inyo Asano shelf, which has this Knights of Sidonia set in front of it, which I got years ago for $150 on eBay, which is still a great deal. Some of these singles are pretty hard to find. But before we get into the Asano stuff, we have Disappearance Diary by Hideo Azuma. Got this at half price books. Let's see, the cover price is, $23. I'll do the math and add it to the total. Wow, that was more than I was expecting. Then we have Super Dimensional Love Gun. This is like a kind of ecchi horror, body horror, just disgusting book. Actually got this for free from a viewer, so glad to have that. That's a very fun read. And then on the end here we have The God's Lie. Got this for $6 on Reddit, and then I got My Broken Mariko, I believe for $10 from the same local store that I got my Yokohama Karaishi Kiko volumes. Then moving back into the Inyo Asano stuff, this was all basically bought retail except for Pun Pun. So I'll put the, Right Stuff price into the total for all these. Actually, except What a Wonderful World, these were out of print when I got them. They still might be. I'm pretty sure I actually got a really good price. I want to say $35 for the two of these, which is, basically what the first volume goes for, I'm pretty sure nowadays. And then again, all this stuff for Right Stuff price. And then Goodnight Pun Pun, I actually got the first 6 volumes from Half Price Books. I'm pretty sure I have like an old Reddit post about it. And then I just had to buy volume 7 off of Amazon, I believe for retail price. So I'll add all of this to the total. And moving down, we're finally getting into a little bit of double stacking. So first here we have Kabuto volumes 1 and 2. Got these off of Reddit, I believe for $25. Very fun, super wacky vintage series. Then we have my Offered and Wounded Man set. It actually has a kind of interesting story behind it. So if you remember Kier and Tommy, the ones who got me Strain Volume 5 in the last installment of this mini-series, they actually got me most of Wounded Man. But I said I would try and get 1 through 4 myself because I could find them cheaper. Fast forward years later, and these are way more expensive than they were, so I had to pay more than I probably would have if I just wasn't an asshole. But all in all, finding all these volumes cost me $155, which is still a pretty good deal considering what this set goes for nowadays. Now, moving on to my Barefoot Gen, or Barefoot Gen. Still don't know how to pronounce it. I got these all for retail off of Last Gasp for, I think, $112 was the total it ended up being. A couple of these are out of stock, have been for a while, but I was lucky enough to get these all when they were in stock. And behind those volumes, we have my Battle Angel, Alita, and Last Order set. I'm just going to be honest, I have no goddamn clue how much I paid for these. I could maybe go back and add a total, but if I had to guess, an educated guess, I would say around $200 to $250 for these. Again, I'll do a little bit more research, but still super glad to have this set in the collection, especially for the price I got them all for. Then next to that, we have Joan Volumes 1 through 3, Vintage Comics 1 series by the author and illustrator of Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. Paid $60, I believe, for all of these very cool volumes. Up here we have Orphina, got this for $5 at the local store, and Ashen Victor, I'll go back for the exact number, I think around 30 on this. It's kind of a Battle Angel Alita spin-off, so you know I had to have it. So moving on to the black shelf, we have some of my light novels. Here we have one of the Holy Grails, almost completed set of Vampire Hunter D that I've been piecing together for the past several years. I did the math, and the total I've paid on these so far is $225, which is insane because a complete set of this can go for several hundred to close to $1,000. Up here we have a less rare novel, 3 Days of Happiness, paid $10 for this, and the Monogatari box set 1 paid, I think, $60 for this years back. Then moving down here, we have my complete set of Berserk. I remember I got a fantastic deal for this complete set with the DMP spines. I paid $200 for all of these on Reddit years ago. Then a couple Miro one-shots. We have Gigantomaxia, paid $7 for this at Half Price Books. And 2 of the rare ones, Japan, paid $64, and King of Wolves actually got from a viewer in the UK. I paid $80 for this, which is, don't get me wrong, a lot for 1 volume, but for this particular one, not a bad deal. Now we are on to my Gantz set. I'll go ahead and move Android 13 out of the way momentarily. I pieced these together when I was in college from all sorts of different places. I mean, eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, just anything you can think of, Reddit. I'm not even exaggerating when I'd say during that period of time, I probably spent more time looking up these volumes to buy than I did actually studying. I know that's terrible, but that is 100% the truth. And though that was too long ago for me to have an exact number, I would say a good estimation for how much I paid for all of these would be $500, which is, again, a lot of money for 1 manga set, especially for a broke college kid. But this is the achievement of my manga collecting career. So happy to have these, my favorite series of all time. All that time lost where I could have been studying, you know what? I think it was worth it. Then moving down to my Taiyo Matsumoto shelf, this is another one where I think I'm just gonna add a lump sum because obviously so many different titles, a lot of which bought retail, like I got Sunny retail, number 5 retail, but we also have some out of print stuff like Go-Go Monster, Blue Spring, number 5 in the very rare singles tipping point. Kind of hard to find comic nowadays. So I'll add all of that to the total right now. Scion Blade of the Minstrel here I paid $32 for off of Books. I saw Weeabra, I think, post this, and I was like, I gotta have this, so I bought it. Lady Snowblood Gaiden also actually was a gift from Weeabra. He sent this. I think I sent him like an extra copy I had of Emerald and Other Short Stories, so he sent that to me for my birthday, I think. Then moving on, we have my Uzumaki singles. I have paid, I think, $100 for all 3 of these, which is kind of interesting because this is not even like one of my favorite series in my collection, but these pulp singles are just so freaking cool, and as a horror fan, I just needed to have them. Then on the very end, we have some more Akira Toriyama manga. We have Kawa. I think I'll go back and find. I think I paid around $40 for this, but again, I'll find the real number. Sandland, I paid $34, which was actually literally like 2 weeks before it got reprinted, so kind of got burned on that, but still love this one. And I guess kind of to make up for it, Jacko the Galactic Patrolman, an out-of-print volume, got this for literally $5 at one of my used stores. And moving down, we have, you guessed it, even more double stacking. So Togari, out-of-print Viz, very underrated series here, paid $80 for these on Mercari. Then we have ReZero light novels, got these all for half price books, I believe. Same with all of these 86 light novels. Speaking of light novels, I'm not even going to take them out, but you can see the Classroom of the Elite light novels. I'll do the math how many there are total, but I paid all right stuff price for those, so about $9.50 each. Down here we have my Blade of the Immortal singles, which I actually traded in for my omnibus. Just love how these look. You get all the different covers. I just think they're really cool. Paid $260 for these on eBay. I believe it was last summer. Crying Freeman volumes 1 through 3 I got on eBay for $55, which is a great deal. I'm not a big fan of this series, but I kind of still want to have all the Koukei manga that's in English, so when I found these for a great price, I couldn't pass it up. Next to that, we have Inside Mari volume 1 and 2. Got these both at half price books. PSA, I think this is actually going out of print. I think Denpa said, so they have a few copies left of this. They should on their website, so I'd go check that out if you want to get this before the price skyrockets. And behind those volumes, we have a few more series to talk about. So here we have, actually forgot to mention, we have Gigant by Hiroi Oku, the author of Gantz. Paid retail, or I guess right stuff price for all of these, so about 10 per, so $100 for the set. Then down below we have my Rurouni Kenshin Vizbigs, the complete set 1 through 9. I'll admit, I overpaid for these. It probably would have been cheaper just to find a completed set, but I found a couple of these for a great price. I was determined to piece it together and ended up probably paying a little more than I should have. I'll find the right number, I think around $400 for this set, which kind of hurts to say, but you know, some of these are pretty expensive to this day. Next to that is Inuyashiki, paid $80 for this set this time around on Reddit, I believe. I've owned this a couple times, sold it off, but I finally have it back for good. Super happy about it. Next to that, Random Rose of Versailles Volume 2, got for $13 at my local shop. And Shadow Lady Volumes 1 through 3 complete by Masakazu Katsura. Found Volume 1 for, I think it was $6 at my local shop, and then I had to buy the second 2 for around $25 each, just because this series is very hard to find, so add that to the total. And similar to last video, I'm just gonna keep my lazy ass on the ground to do the last shelf. So here we have the Akira box set. Again, got this so long ago, can't really remember. I think I paid $120 ballpark for this, but shout out to the OG manga collectors who remember when this was like a $500 item. Then we have Alive the Final Evolution. Have pieced all these volumes together, not the complete English run, but I paid I think $55 for all of these. Behind those we have some One Piece volumes that I just don't have a box set for. Again, $7.50 for all of these. Down here we have some stuff I got for free from Yen and Eyes Press. We have some Rent a Girlfriend volumes that Sam SideQuest gave me for free. Thinking about making a video, like trying this series out, just because I've heard so many, you know, glowing reviews. But then we have my Spice and Wolf set of the light novels. Have picked these up, I think, all for half price. That's what I've tried to do with this set. It's not quite complete, but it's kind of been a little fun thing I've tried to do. So half price, around $6.50 for all of these. Behind those books, we have my Gone Italian box set. If you guys are wondering, why'd you get the Italian one? Well, it's actually because this manga has no words. So this nice Italian box set was perfect. Got this for $60 off of Reddit last year. Absolutely loved it. Then we have the Flowers of Evil set by Shuzo Oshimi. Again, got this so long ago, probably like 4 years ago. I would say I picked this up for around 150. I think the only one I really paid out of pocket for was 10. But the rest of these were actually pretty cheap at the time. They might be a little bit more now. Then you can see we have some more free stuff from Yen Press. And the final thing that I actually paid for on this shelf is the Silent Voice box set. I paid 40 for this off of Reddit. This actually goes on sale quite a bit on Amazon, and even secondhand it's pretty cheap, around 35 to 40 bucks. So if you want a great manga series that won't break the bank, definitely pick up this box set. Moving up a shelf, starting here, we have the Naruto official fan guidebook, got for free, can't remember where. We have Erased 1 through 5, the best series that I read last year. Got this for 60, again from Josh Deason's Reddit sale. Fist of the North Star. I got some of these retail and some of these on the Barnes & Noble half-off hardcover sale, which they actually didn't do this year. I was really bummed out. I was going to pick up some new ones, but about 10 each for all of these. Moving Gogeta out of the way here, we have for Summertime Rendering, got this for 10 used at the local shop, and Astro Lost in Space, paid 35 for this, I remember, years back on Reddit. Moving up a shelf here, we have the main event, my Vinland Saga hardcovers. Now, I remember vividly these first 4 volumes were the first volumes I ever bought on Manga Swap on Reddit. I remember I got these for 10 each, so 40 for the first 4, and just thinking, this guy must be out of his mind selling manga for so cheap, because previously the only way I got manga was from Barnes & Noble, so this was literally like more than half off. But glad to have gotten started buying manga on Reddit there. So many great deals in the future from that point on. Then the rest of them, I paid Right Stuff price for all of these. I forget how much, probably like $13.50 each, but I'll find out the exact price. Behind trunks here, we have Shortcuts, Volume 1 and 2 by Usamaru Furuya. Super rare, like, comic series, but I got these both for $10 combined at the local shop one day. Yeah, I cleaned that place out when I first went there. They had so much good stuff. And by the same mangaka, we have my No Longer Human singles. I got these when they were cheaper. This used to be like a $150 to $300 set. But after the new omnibus, these have gone down price quite a bit. Paid 60 for this complete set, I believe. Moving up here, we have my Twin Spica complete English set. I don't remember off the top of my head how much I paid for these. I want to say around 160, but I got a great deal. Sniped an eBay bid. That's one of my favorite pastimes. Just sniping eBay bids, getting banger deals, and this was definitely one of them. I'll find the real total and add it to the ticker. Beside that, we have another peak manga series, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, 1 through 15, including the Books A Million exclusive Neko Toro cover there. Paid retail for this, obviously, on Books A Million's website, and the rest of these I got on Right Stuff, so I'll add that to the total as well. Might as well add 35 and 36 of Hunter x Hunter. Paid $7.50 for each of these back when Right Stuff was still a thing. And then Tokyo Tribes, one of the most slept on manga series in my entire collection. I paid $60 for this, which is a great deal because Volume 6 especially is really hard to find for a good price. I mean, I've seen this listed on eBay for like 70 plus. I don't know if that's still up or if that's been bought, but that was like the only copy I could find. Luckily, I got it for way cheaper on Manga Swap back in the day. And last but not least, the final shelf of the collection. Now, this is kind of what I was talking about with, you know, I'm not 100% sure on how much I paid for Eden, but we'll start off simple. I remember I got these two both for free from Yen Press, so thank you, Yen Press. Then we have the Noise hardcover. This is not the original Tokyo Pop version, but rather the Kodansha reprint that came out, I believe, last year. Got this on sale at Barnes & Noble, their half-off hardcovers, for I think it was around $12. I'll double check. And then my Blam set, a set that so many people see in my collection and just beg me to sell or give to them. This is not going anywhere. I remember I got these for $150. I pieced them together. I'll never forget, there was a guy on Manga Swap I almost bought a set for. He wanted like $100, and I was like, nah man, you gotta do 60 for me, just because I was a lowballing scumbag. But ended up getting still a really good deal for these when I pieced them together later. Next we have Tan Pen Shu, another very rare set of a couple volumes. Got these for, I want to say, it was 60 for this complete set. I think these go for way more now, so lucky to have these before the price went way up. And the final set in my manga collection to add to the total is my Eden It's an Endless World set. So we have 1 through 14 in the officially licensed singles by Dark Horse, and then we have the self-prints, which is now in operation that no longer exists, at least not to my knowledge. But I got these obviously unofficial versions in English. I'll put up some screenshots of how much I paid for some of these volumes. I mean, by today's standards, I got a crazy deal. I don't even know how I found these deals on eBay back in the day when this series was already like expensive, out of print, and desirable. But I'll try and get a general total. I honestly don't have a number I can just spout off the top of my head, but I'll do a little bit of math. And then I guess for the self-prints, I paid 20 for all 4 of these. So good deal on these, but that is going to conclude the total for my entire manga collection. You can see the aftermath of double shelving. I guess only thing left to do is to find out how much I've spent in 3, 2, 1. I have spent $11,877 on manga. Now, just looking at that number, man, I feel like I could have done a whole lot worse. Don't get me wrong, over 10 G's is so much money to spend on hobbies, especially considering, you know, manga is one of my several collecting hobbies I have. But just looking at my shelves, all of the value as far as money goes, and as far as the enjoyment I've had reading and collecting all of these things, I totally think it's worth it. And just going through my collection, tallying up how much I've spent on everything, really was a whole lot of fun because I got to reminisce on, you know, those times where I was just starting collecting, saying, you know, I remember when I bought this, or this set has a really cool story associated with it. So even though the end total of over $11,000 may seem extremely high, and it is, I have no regrets, and I would do it over again in a heartbeat. So that is going to wrap it up for this video and this little mini series of videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching them, and if you want to see me do a separate series where I tally up how much everything is worth, like aftermarket prices, I know some people have expressed interest in that, I can definitely do that. So leave a comment down below and a like on this video if that's something you'd be interested in. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So yeah, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.